Okay, so we have minor arcana. The of Pentacles. Pentacles are associated with earth signs being Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if you were to get an Ace of Pentacles, just like every other ace, it is a new opportunity. And it's because it's associated with the sign of earth signs, it's always the opportunity to create something material, to make something manifest, and to bring something new, physical into the world. The things that we create. So another thing that I'll say about Pentacles is that we think of the three previous signs as like materials. I would say that each of the energies are quite like physical materials, but the pentacle is the sign of the things that we can like see and taste and touch and feel. So they show up in ways that we can touch and affect our bank account and our material circumstances and our sense of self-worth. So I would just kind of take those kind of associations going forward. And I guess I think the comparison I wanted to say is each of them are equally real. They both, the air and ideas, emotions, and belief, they all impact us at the same level and of reality as Pentacles. Pentacles just happen to be the things that we can like knock into, if you will. So anyway, Ace of Pentacles is a new opportunity of financial growth or creation. It could be a job, it could be a living situation, it could be a new way to make money, it could be a venture, it could be a collaboration. The Two of Pentacles represents, it's always this, it's actually something, you see these, the ships in the background, it's very much an integration of the earthly and the spiritual, the things out of our depths and what's happening at the mundane level. So you're always, it's just something to consider is integrating two opposites, or even just reaffirming your schedule so it feels more manageable, and kind of like dealing with the kind of negotiation it takes to manage a life practically. The Three of Pentacles is the card of, there's many different cards that are associated with kind of an earth sign path, which is to create. And this is one of the first specific images of teaching. The iconography is of a architect who has like a blueprint, and then there's an apprentice and a priest, and they're looking and they're considering, how are we going to build this cathedral? So it's very much about apprenticeship, the very beginnings of learning something, and the activity of drawing up a plan and making it into something that has like a physical structure and something that we could like walk into, like a building. The Four of Pentacles is a card of holding on to what we've created. He's very much associated with a miser, someone who clings and holds very dearly to their bank account, their possessions. And the thing is, you can see that the sky is gray, and they're not quite, the energy of the card is not like you're satisfied with what you've created. You're quite challenged by what you've created, and there's almost a sense of risk averse. You're so risk averse, you feel like you're going to lose it all. And then in the Five of Pentacles, you do. This is a difficult card. In this deck, it represents two people who are houseless and walking in the snow outside of a church. And the church is, in this imagery, it's meant to represent charity and the ability to come together in a religious body. And you have this very conspicuous exteriority of the people who lack. Something to always note about this is that, charity exists, and the potential for receiving when you need is very real. As we see in the Six of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles is this energy of exchange, of receiving from others, and of sharing your wealth when you have it. You can see that there's the scales, which represents a kind of karmic balance. So again, it's kind of a reminder to be as generous as possible, and to be wary of what you think should be given to you. I would say that even though it represents the fact that we are on both sides in many different times in our life, good karma is always achieved by giving first, and give more, it will always come back to you. The Seven of Pentacles, I would say, is kind of like in this last little moment between the 7 and the 10. It's the beginning of sowing seeds, planting seeds that you have the faith that they will, create something beautiful and meaningful. But you realize that it's not quite there yet, and it won't manifest overnight. But you're just taking pleasure in the process of creating something new and bringing something into being that is kind of worthwhile in and of itself. The Eight of Pentacles is a card associated with refining a skill. So similar to the Three of Pentacles, which is almost like elementary school, grade school, this is the card of, I already know what I'm doing and I'm quite good at it, and refining that skill. So this is considered to be like a craftsperson working on their craft and making every single pentacle just right and just perfect. And it's really reaffirming if you work in a craft-based profession, or you have a trade of any kind. This is a card where you're becoming the highest, you're working on the activity of becoming the highest expression of that trade. Similar to the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles is a card of reveling in what you have accomplished, what you have manifested, your beautiful home, your beautiful environment. It's giving almost Empress energy, where we're sitting back and we're just in awe of everything that life can be and become, and how we haven't compromised. We made the hard decisions, we planted the seeds, we refined our skills, and now we get a little bit of indulgence. But again, it's similar to the Nine of Cups. She's kind of on her own, but again, I would say this is a reveling in her independence, and also the pleasure of being independent, and maybe even financially independent. The Ten of Pentacles is a card of legacy. You can see that there are 3 generations of a family. You have the elders, the young parents, and then children and their dogs. So you're thinking about, when you pull this card, what is my life's legacy? What am I leaving behind? Is what I'm doing now in alignment with what I hope to leave for future generations? This could be a book. This could be a loving relationship. This could be a child. This could be so many different things. So yeah, I would just, I think it's the culmination of a material manifestation, as the Pentacles describes. I know we just went through a lot. Were there any questions that you had or came up?
Why are the swords so dramatic?
Artistic license. I don't know. I think that they're so dramatic because they're the mode which we so often live in. I think that our mental experience dictates our reality, and so often I think it just kind of dramatizes how, if we think things are terrible, they will be perceived as terrible.
Okay, because like every other one has like some pretty consistent like ups and downs, and then swords is just like, we're gonna go as far downhill as possible, as quickly as possible. We'll work our way back up though.
I know the imagery is so insane and devastating and heartbreaking, but strangely, it's almost like this. It's almost like a pun, because I dare I say, it's only language. You know what I mean? Like it's only words, it's only what you say.
Yeah.
So it's actually like way less, it's like they die physically in the swords, but the worst that happens in the pentacles is just having a moment of poverty. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think you're right to point out that things are scarier in the swords card, but I think it's also the door to the most freedom from this kind of situation if you kind of like internalize the lessons of each card.
Okay, makes
Yeah,
sense.
you're like, theoretically, I get it.
Still seems kind of dramatic. I don't know. Card number 3 was tough conversations and killing of relationships.
Yes, indeed. I don't know. It's like it's like when you hang out with them enough, you're able to understand them, and I think give a little bit of space between like the tough conversation and like the true heartbreak. And I don't know, trying your best not to take things super personally, I guess. So anyway, do you want to like pull some cards and do some readings?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.